In this part, I want to make our home section responsive. Let's see how we can do that to make it responsive so that we would be able to view it on mobiles, tablets, and all devices aesthetically. First, please note that this picture has a distance of 114 pixels from this side, and from here to this side, the distance is 114 pixels. So we have a 114 pixel padding, which I didn't give it before. Now, I want to give it this padding. That is, in our structure section, for all sections, we have a 114 pixel padding right and also a 114 pixel padding left, like this. If I inspect the elements, see, normally it's not clear because the distance is more than the padding, but when the page is made smaller, then we are able to see why this padding is useful. See, this padding we have here, if I uncheck it at some points, it will stick to the sides. This means that our page will not have any padding. Because we have little of it, to prevent it, we add this padding. It will not be noticeable normally because the distance is more than the padding. However, when the page becomes smaller, it will be noticeable. Alright, another thing we will need to do is when we are in responsive mode, this picture moves down. For now, what we want is this part. If we go to mobile mode, the padding that we have here is too much. It has pressed our text tightly together, so firstly we'll need to fix this padding. We say in responsive mode, in responsive section, we gave it a max width of 768 pixels, for which the width was from 0 pixels to 768 pixels. When in responsive mode, these styles will be applied. For the responsive mode, we say in main, the sections that are its direct children, those will have a padding right and a padding left of 32 pixels. We'll set both of them together. Look. Now they have a smaller padding like so. This means that when our page is, for example, at 768 pixels, it looks like this. However, at 769 pixels, the padding will be much more, as you can see here. We can even apply this padding at a higher width. I mean, let's say 992 pixels. See, we have another breakpoint here. This breakpoint is at 992 pixels. From this point on, it looks like this. It's for color G, large in Bootstrap. However, when decreased by 1, what happens? This picture moves under this part. So we say this should happen at 991 pixels. This means that our breakpoint will be set at 991. We'll create another breakpoint such as this one, but because it's larger, we add it above this one. Their priority is highly important. We enter it up here and say its max width is 991 pixels. We won't set it to 992. Please note that here at 992 pixels, it still looks like this. At 991 pixels, its state changes. We say from 0 to 991 and not 992. Moreover, here, it's better to say 767 pixels and not 768. See, at 767 it appears like this. It is at 767 that it changes. So it's better to set it to 767. As a result, we go here and set this breakpoint to 767 pixels. At 768, it is the breakpoint of Bootstrap, and at 767, our styles are executed. Therefore, we set this one here to 991 and the other one here to 767, so that there will be no interference with the breakpoints of Bootstrap. Bootstrap breakpoints are at 992 and 768. And we'll set these to 991 and 767. This means that first Bootstrap executes its breakpoints, then we'll give it styles. Okay, now we have done it. Here, if you pay attention, our section's padding is 32 pixels, as shown here. We can also do this for the other one too. That is, we can add this padding of 32 pixels to the breakpoint of 991 pixels, but for now, let's leave it. Another problem we have is this picture. See, when the page becomes smaller, this picture protrudes from color G6 as the page becomes smaller. This means that it is larger than color G6. Look, Color G6's area is limited to this part, but the picture protrudes from it. In order to prevent this from happening, we'll give the picture a max width. In normal mode, here, it doesn't show. If you look at this part, I'll move this. In this mode, it's even smaller than Color G6 because its width is more. That is, our picture is smaller. We can give this picture a max width. This means that in this part, inside Home, the picture that we have here in the image section, here, will give the picture a max width of 100%. But why? So that it doesn't protrude from this. Now there is no problem. If we decrease the size of the page, see, decrease the size of the page, this will also become smaller with it because this is the size of Color G. Now this only uses 100% of its width. Its max width is 100%, and at times it might even be smaller than Color G. For example, now it's smaller. The picture's max width is 100% and it becomes smaller with the text and finally moves under this part. And that's it for this part. Now in this part, we have here, see, it is too low. It's better that it goes up. But as you can see, there is something creating a horizontal scroll here. And it's this, our socials. If you look carefully here, look at this part. When the page is small, this will break this text here. However, the whole part should wrap and move to the next line. Why does this not wrap to the next line? The reason is this. Here, see? Our UL tags display is flex, but its flex wrap is not set to wrap. Look, if I give it a flex wrap, this will move down here and it doesn't break anymore. And when there isn't enough space, it moves to the next line. We can give this to it as public. That is, we say in socials, which is here, flex wrap, wrap. In this way, now it will get a wrap and move to the next line. Now let's go to this part. The next thing we have, see, in mobile mode, let me click on this. You can see that the distance between this and the top side is too much. This means that our info, let's make this one move to the side. Our info's padding top is 281 pixels. However, this is too much and we don't need it. Let's go to responsive mode. Let me close sidebar. In Home, I say, though, down here, below main. We don't make any changes to main. Main is public and is for all of the sections. For this, I only want to start Home. I say Home in its info. See, it has an info. Set its padding top to 80 pixels. This goes higher and is placed here and looks much better. However, this background is now mixed with the text. They're both white. We can remove this background in mobile mode. I mean, in our Home, see, there is a background. This is our background. We can remove this background in mobile mode so that it doesn't get mixed with the text. How do we do that? What should happen to this background image? Onset. We'll go back. As you can see, this onset causes the background image to disappear in this way. Now, we need to do another thing. Let's go here and select this H1 tag. It is too big for the responsive mode. Because it is too big for the responsive mode, we can change this 48 pixel size to 36 pixels. We say in responsive mode, we can also have it up here. We say for our H1 font size is 36 pixels. And for this H2, see, the text gets a wrap. It's because it's too large. So we decrease it from 24 pixels to 20 pixels. It will change to 20 pixels, like so. Now, when it types here, it doesn't get a wrap anymore. And that one is also set and it isn't too big either. because we don't need too big of a font size in mobile mode. Okay, now let's decrease the distance between the socials and this part in mobile mode. For clearly, mobiles are smaller. We say that socials, which are in info, here, we had info here. Socials have a margin top of 190 pixels. We give them a margin of 70 pixels. See, they go higher. You can do it differently. Although there are various mobile phones and their sizes are different from each other. That is, here you can see that different mobile phones have different heights. Or, for example, another one, if you look at Galaxy, their dimensions are different. Now, here, the ones here, we can say that they should be divided 2 by 2 on the sides. How? The UL tag that is inside it, we can set its justify content to a space between. The two of them will be on the left and two of them will be on the right. This looks nicer. In this way, we can see them side by side. After that, look at this picture we have here. Its height is 100 VH. We need to remove it. That is, in responsive mode, we don't need it. When this goes down here, please note at what point it does. If I select responsive mode, this goes down here exactly here at 991 pixels. It breaks. It means we have it at 992 pixels, but we don't have it at 991. And it goes down here. Look, it moves there. So what do we say for 991 pixels? We say that this picture is now on the right side and we want it to be aligned with this on the left side. This image is flex end and it must be set to flex star to be aligned. As a result, we go to 991 breakpoint and say inside home, our image justify content flex start. See? It will be aligned with this. So in mobile mode, when it goes down here, although this is the tablet size, it goes to the left side and is placed there. Now we can also give it a distance from the top and from the bottom, and its height will no longer be 100 VH. Now look at this part. Its height is 100 VH. As a result, there is too much space here. We set height 100 VH to unset. By doing so, its height will be unset and it gets closer to its top and it is stuck to the bottom side. If we give it a margin top and a margin bottom, this will get fixed. Let's give it a 40 pixel margin top and a 40 pixel margin bottom. See, as displayed here, it now has a margin top and a margin bottom. Now, in mobile mode, for example, iPhone, see, it looks nice. All the distances are fixed and you can see everything clearly. All of them are clear and all texts are easily visible. The paddings and the distances are fit and everything is in the right place. You can also check it on different devices without any inconvenience. Our menu is in perfect order too. Now, if I go to iPhone XR, you can see it. iPhone 12 Pro or for example, iPad. On all devices, you have an aesthetic website. There is no problem and everything works properly as displayed here. This padding here, the padding that we set for our 768 breakpoint, which is at 767 pixels and lower, and the padding becomes 32 pixels. You can even set this padding up here. I mean, we can move this from here, this part of it, to this part above home. We don't need these. They are for the mobile mode. However, the size is tablet or lower, that is 991 pixels or lower, which changes to mobile mode, that is 768 pixels. These will be 32 pixels. In this mode too, it will be 32 pixels exactly. You can also see it here. It can be displayed nicely on different devices. Needless to say, in desktop mode, it is also displayed very well. It doesn't matter what device with any dimensions one might be using, they can view the website in perfect order. There is our menu here using which you can navigate the website I hope you have enjoyed this part too.